friends, my name is Lisa. If we haven't met, if we have, welcome back to my pottery studio. I'm very glad you're here today. The objective today is to remedy a failed attempt at making some pendant lights. So a few videos back, I threw some bowls that I was planning on turning into pendant lights. And when I trimmed them, I trimmed the hole in the bottom just like that so that the light mechanism could go through. And then two things happened. One, I threw two. One of them cracked in trimming. The second one cracked at the bisque. And I got to thinking about it and I realized my approach was actually pretty dumb. So I threw a bowl, it threw like this, right? And then when trimming, I trimmed the hole out for the light mechanism to go through. And now thinking back on it, that was probably dumb. I should have thrown it with the hole in the bottom to begin with. But that leads to a whole debacle about how do I get the right size, given that there will be the shrinkage and all that. And then I had a brilliant idea, and I think I can solve this, and I get to use some new technology that I recently got. So if you want to see my new plan, please stick around. I hope that sounds interesting to you, and let's get started. Okay, I should say before we get started here, I do need to do a little cleanup in the studio. And one of the things that I need to do before I can do the thing sorry for all that. I am going to use my 3D printer for this project. The thing is, I got a 3D printer a while back. I just put it on this countertop, and I like having this countertop for putting finished pieces on. And so last weekend I worked on building a little stand table situation over here for it. And the top for that, I finally got finished and painted. So I'm going to install this and move the 3D printer over. Then my plan is to use ChatGPT to identify how big of a disc as a template I would need for this specific light fixture that I've got, given the shrinkage of my clay. And then I'm going to use my printer to print that out as a template. Then I'm going to throw my bowls, and when they're just about done but not complete yet, I'm going to put that template in the bottom. I'm going to try and have it centered and then cut the clay out based on that size and diameter while it's still wet. Lisa Brain is thinking I'll be less likely to have it crack like it did. I won't have to deal with trimming that hole out, which also puts less risk into the whole process. So I think it's brilliant, and I get to play with my 3D printer. So let's go. Let's get this cleaned up first, and then we can go. So fortunately, last weekend I was able to kind of design and build this little setup, all with scrap pieces I actually already had. Pretty remarkable. Look at that, like a glove. What do we think here? Can I lift this as is? Yeah, I can do it. Okay, it's not too bad. Actually not as heavy as you might think that it is, but I do want to make sure it's unplugged. I don't have this cord in the way. Got a new home. We have a new home right here. Okay, I'm glad I got that moved. That gives me that counter space back, and then we can start this print, but gotta design it first. Here's what I'm thinking. So I picked this up at Lowe's, I think. They have a whole area where you can buy all these different pendants, and then you can choose the actual glass part. I think most of them are all glass, but obviously I want to use what I'm making instead. So this is one of the tests that I did that didn't crack when it trimmed, but you can see, oddly enough, it cracked on the outside, but it did not go all the way through to the inside. But I'm probably going to toss this out, but I'm going to maybe use it as kind of a reference for now. Okay, so it looks like, okay, there's two sort of collets, I guess. Okay, and according to this, it looks like this would go, oh, look at that. I mean, I almost nailed it. I mean, just by whatever I did. Then it would say this, and that would go, well, I'll be damned. There's no way I expected this to just work. Look at that. Look at that. I mean, obviously this would all be hanging, but shoot, if only you hadn't have cracked. But this isn't fully fired yet, so it would shrink again. So there's actually a good chance that this would still be, well, how ironic that it worked. This is just bisqued. There's also a good chance that this would shrink again and shrink more, and then I wouldn't be able to actually get this through. Either way, I only have one of these. I need two. I was also kind of thinking that maybe I make them a little bit more undulating, maybe a little bit more organic looking. This looks like anything you could just go buy. So what's the point in that? Let's do some calculated measurements. What I'm going to do is I've got these calipers, digital calipers, and I'm going to see how wide does my hole need to be upon completion to fit in here? And I don't want it to be too tight. So it looks like I could go about exactly 40. You know what? I'm gonna use my brain. This hole is perfect as is. So upon final firing, 40 to 43 millimeters I think would work. Okay, so the next step, I'm gonna use ChatGPT. If I have a disc, flat disc, that is 41 millimeters after it had shrank by 12%, what would be the original diameter of that disc? Awesome, okay. So it says to find the original diameter of the disc before it shrank by 14%. You can use this formula, blah, blah, blah. Given the final shrunk diameter is 41 millimeters, shrinkage rate of 14%, da, 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 da. The original diameter was approximately 47.67 millimeters. So I just need to go upstairs and model a small disc that's 47.67 millimeters and get that printing. Okay. All right, that was a little bit more involved than what I thought. I had to like calculate the radius because that's what you put in when you model it. And then I forgot to do the little finger hole to center it, so I had to go back and do that. But I think I got it. It's sending. I hear the printer starting right now. It's warming up. So the cool thing too is I can monitor it on my phone, which helps a lot. I think that this says it's going to take all of 7 minutes to print that little tool. So while we're waiting for that, I'm going to go ahead and get some clay ready.
There is a life I lead in this city, hurrying to cut my teeth. I can take what I need to get by. It doesn't make it easy. The other piece of my heart moves slow.
Well, in less than 10 minutes, I got 2 balls of clay wedged up and my little jig is finished printing. Should be the exact diameter that I need if we did all of our maths right. Put you back in here for the next print. Definitely like the new home for this, but look at that. So I've got pretty well set up here. If you're wondering why I use 2 buckets, I have a whole video about that. It's just a preference. Let's make sure I have everything. This plaster bat that I like to scrape wet clay onto makes it easier to reclaim. I've got my new little jig. I did measure it with the same calipers just to make sure all good. I got my chamois, I got my cutoff wire, I've got the sponge, and I've got my clay. All right, check, check, check. All right, big money, no whammies.
Somewhere in the great unknown, when I return from the afterglow, will you carry me like I am whole again?
I don't know if I mentioned, but today I'm throwing with a different clay body than I normally do. This is Rocky Mountain Aspen. It's by Rocky Mountain Clay, and it's a porcelain called Aspen. Oh, and every single time, I kid you not, this bat's rattling. I don't know if it's just my bats that do this, but I have some older bats, I think, and they just lost a little bit of their mojo. So I use this little bat mate. I love this thing. I use this also on plaster bats all the time. With these like MDF bats, they start like really, you know, like tick, 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 tick. That bat mate will really help. A lot of whack there.
Put me together, take me back where I belong. I want it all. I had a feeling, but the feeling is all.
Anyway, what was I saying? So, yeah, this is another Cone 6 porcelain. It's made here in Colorado. I normally throw with Laguna's number 16 porcelain, but my supplier didn't have any when I went down. But it's okay. This is also a lovely body. I did have to look it up and confirm. It also shrinks. This shrinks at 14%, so I did change my calculation, just FYI, to 14% shrinkage. Okay, so before opening, I'm at eyeball about 5 inches. So I'm just making a note of that, so when I throw the next one, you know, I'll center it down to a cone shape like this, about 5 inches at the bottom.
Hold on, put me together, take me back where I belong. I want it all. I had a feeling, but the feeling is all gone. The feeling is all gone. The feeling is all gone. If I could take you back to my youth and show you what I wish I knew, my will is strong with a place to lean. In the moment I hung desperately, the other ring on my wrist is gold, pairing with the light it holds.
My other thought is if I make them kind of like undulating or sort of, you know, like not perfect, then they don't have to like perfectly match either. So a little cheat.
I'm remembering the words you told me. Wait, hold on, put me together, take me back where I belong. I want it all. I had a feeling, but the feeling is all gone. Wait, hold on, put me together, take me back where I belong. I want it all. I had a feeling, but the feeling is all gone. Feeling is all gone.
It does mean though, if I modify it, then trimming is gonna be harder. Let's see where we're at. Let's try to get the walls evened out as much as we can.
Feeling is all gone. Feeling is all gone.
We are measuring about 10 inches diameter. I'm gonna clean up the wall and then we're gonna test the jig, the disc, the measurement device. And y'all are gonna cross your fingers for me. That went better than expected. Okay, I'm gonna just push it down. Okay, and now we'll use, hold your breath. All right, I think it worked. I mean, I think that's pretty awesome. Let's see, can I pull this off now? I guess I shouldn't have pushed it on there that hard, huh? Okay, it really stuck to the clay. So that's fine, that's fine. What I think I'm gonna do is see if I can clean this up a little bit. Okay, so what I think would have worked better is if I just put the template down lightly and then created my line, my guide, and then took it off and did this. But I'm pretty sure this is still gonna be great. Now for the undulating, the desire to undulate it. What I think, so I'm not gonna cut it off from the bat. And I'm gonna hope that if I flip it upside down and shake it, that it'll create some subtle interest. I wanna still be able to flip it over and trim it, so I don't wanna do too much of that. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, so. Okay, I can go like this. All right, I'll hang it upside down, I'll set it here. We'll put the other one over it like that, and it can rest like that. It's gonna work, it's gonna work. What we don't know is if it's actually gonna be like, oh, it did, it worked, look at that. Okay, can we get more consistent? Yes. I don't know, can you tell? This is exactly kind of what I was hoping for. I don't wanna touch it. I want it to be sort of happenstance. Yes. These are gonna be cool. They're gonna be a bugger to trim. We are gonna say that. I'll do like so, and like so. Now, obviously we don't want it to dry for too long like this. You guys gotta look, you guys gotta see this. That makes me so happy. That is exactly what I was hoping for. All right, I just gotta do one more. And you see what I'm saying? Like if I don't get them perfectly, like consistent, you know, it's still gonna look cool. I should do 3 because then I have one backup in case there's another kiln crack that shows up. Should have thought of that when I was wedging though. Now, obviously you don't have to have a 3D printer to do this, right? I will say that ChatGPT, that came in clutch for the geometry, but you could do the same thing and then just, you know, cut a circle out with like cardboard or something. But now that I have a 3D printer, I want to use it for all the things. I do plan on doing a video coming up, hopefully maybe the next month or so, on just all the fun pottery tools that you can make for yourself with a printer. And if you have a 3D printer, put a comment below and let me know and tell me, like, you know, if you have any tips or what your favorite filament is.
I can't shake the simplest feeling beyond the ghost. We stand on the opposite shore. Hello, Ramona.
In other news, on the home front, so I have a 5-year-old yellow lab named Ellie. She's not really a studio dog. She doesn't like it down here. I wish she would come hang out with me, but she doesn't. She had to go to the ophthalmologist yesterday because one of her eyes was looking a little cloudy. A little worried about it. I thought maybe she had scratched her eye out running through the shrubbery and stuff in the back, but it turns out she has an eye condition. I want to say I called it PANA. It's a condition where it gets more aggravated and kind of damaging to her eye the more she's exposed to UV light. And she loves to be outside. She loves it. So they presented us with the option of doggles. We got some, they're called Rex Specs. And oh, she's such a champ. But just the cutest thing ever. And what's hysterical is that, like, in the wintertime, if it's too cold, I make her wear booties. In the summertime, if it's too hot, I make her wear booties. And now she's got her glasses. She's surprisingly tolerant of it though. She's, of course, you know, she'll take a few steps on the walk and then try to paw them off, but when you correct her, she stops. And so I think we're gonna have a good go of it.
Mysterious ceilings, my only hope. I look for the things I don't know. For all in this, I stand alone. Show me where the ending goes. Honest, honestly don't. I should be the last to know. We're all in this, I stand alone. Show me where the ending.
Let's see. The other thing I've been really working on a lot, kind of behind the scenes, is this glaze database that I've created. And next video, I plan to record after this video. I'm going to give you a tour of it. It's online. It's my new favorite tool. My new favorite pottery tool that's not in the pottery studio.
Honestly don't. I should be the last to know. Hello, Ramona. I mistook you for a dream. The engine glows, and I guess you always seem to know. Hello, Ramona. I push back the serious feeling. The end's unknown. To get back else, I stand alone. Show me where the ending goes. Honestly don't. I should be the last to know. We're all in this, I stand alone. Show me where the ending goes. Honestly don't. I should be the last to know.
Another tip, if you buy furniture that's like delivered and it has these like cardboard corners on it that like protect it, I use these surprisingly a lot in the studio, like surprisingly a lot. I definitely use them all the time when I'm making test tiles for glazes, and someday I will definitely make a video on that process. They're also coming in pretty handy for this right now. So once again, and hold your breath with me. I'm very, very sad. That's not supposed to happen. Oh God, that's not supposed to happen. Okay, well, it happened. It happened. Which makes me think this one, let's go ahead and get it right side back up and hope that it will not collapse this way. This one's still good. Safer. That worked. I mean, that was good. I don't think this was quite the level of alteration that I was going for. So, shoot. It appears as though the bat was still a little bit too dry. The next one I'm going to use a plastic bat, not an MDF bat. But since I have to do that, I am going to wedge up 2 more balls. And so my goal will be to have 3. And that's smarter because, you know, just in case one cracks. So I'm going to take a break though. I might cry for a little bit, but I'm going to come back and it's going to be fine.
There is a life I lead in this city, hurrying to cut my teeth. I can take what I need to get by. It doesn't make it easy. The other piece of my heart moves slow, somewhere in the great unknown. When I return from the afterglow, will you carry me like I am whole again? Wait, hold on, put me together, take me back where I belong. I want it all. I had a feeling, but the feeling is all gone. Wait, hold on, put me together, take me back where I belong. I want it all. I had a feeling, but the feeling is all gone. If I could take you back to my youth and show you what I wish I knew, my will is strong with a place to lean. In a moment I hung desperately. The other ring on my wrist is gold, pairing with the light it holds. When I return from my skin and bones, I'm remembering the words you told me.
Okay, well, I spent a little bit of time just hanging out in the studio watching these babies and watching some YouTube to give them enough time to stiffen up enough so that I flipped them back over and they didn't just like, you know, settle down too much. I did give them a little bit more encouragement to get some good character, because I'm quite confident that as these dry and as I put plastic over it, they're gonna relax. And so this might seem a little bit more undulating than what you might expect, but I'm pretty confident that once they settle, they're gonna kind of relax a little bit. So I think this is where I'm gonna leave you for today. It means the world to me that you'd stay and hang out with me, so I really appreciate you being here. I very much promise that on an upcoming video, I will highlight and show how these come out, and I'll probably do a whole video on like installing them, as long as I have success. Again, this is my second attempt. So wish me luck, cross your fingers for me. I will keep you posted, but it means the world that you're here. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye guys.